The chamber is tense, cameras locked on every angle, reporters whisper in the corridors, but inside, silence, heavy as stone. Suddenly, Jasmine Crockett rises, clutching a thick white envelope. Her movements are sharp. Her voice cuts through the room like a blade. Crockett. Ladies and gentlemen, these aren't political memos. These are divorce papers. The words hang in the air, shocking and final. Heads snap upward. Murmurs ripple across the chamber like an electric current. Donald Trump freezes, lips pressed into a thin white line. Then, a piercing scream. Melania. Her voice cracks the silence, raw and desperate. Melania. Stop! You cannot! Cameras swing toward her instantly, catching her trembling hands, her face twisted in disbelief. A surge of voices erupts, congressmen shouting, "Order! Order in the chamber!" But Crockett does not flinch. She lays the envelope on the desk with deliberate calm. The lens zooms in. The seal, the attorney's signature, the date. Crockett, cold, unwavering. These are authenticated documents, signed, filed, prepared for court. Trump leans forward, fist pounding the table. His face reddens, brows shaking with fury, but no words come yet. He is cornered, held in silence. Reporters in the gallery scramble for the exits, shouting into phones, desperate to break the story first. Each second of live coverage feels like a detonation. Melania's voice cracks again, softer now, almost pleading, "No, not here." Her words dissolve into the roar of the chamber. Crockett steps closer to the mic, her tone steady, merciless. Crockett. This is not gossip. This is the end of a contract written in betrayal. The chamber descends into chaos. The nation, watching live, is already holding its breath. The battle has begun. A crisp thud as the envelope lands on the lacquered wood. Fluorescent lights hum. The chamber breathes in, not out. Crockett breaks the seal with a single precise motion and fans out a stack of forms, tabs flagged in alternating stripes, witness declarations, asset disclosures, deposition notices, a draft petition stamped with a courthouse crest. Crockett, into the mic even. These are not rumors. These are records. Draft petition for dissolution, attached exhibits, attorney of record signature, notarized, chain of custody preserved. She lifts the first page. The camera clocks the header, the caption line, the case-style typeface. She does not embellish. She reads. Crockett. Statement of facts. The marriage has suffered irreconcilable breakdown due to repeated breaches of trust. A beat. Relief requested, separation of assets, custody stipulations, protective orders as needed. A chair screeches across marble. Trump surges to his feet, pointing. Trump. Fake. Fabricated. You're reading from a prop. Chair. Gaveling. Order. Crockett, still calm. Included are copies of counsel correspondence, not conjecture, not talk show noise, correspondence. She flips to a stapled exchange. Letterhead, email printouts, a scheduling note for a private mediation. She holds it just high enough for the front bench to read the bolded subject line, Settlement Parameters. Trump, louder. You cannot introduce personal family paperwork in a hearing about governance. Crockett. When personal leverage becomes public currency, it becomes the people's business. A glance to the gallery. This is not gossip. This is governance. A collective intake of breath. Melania's knuckles whiten around the edge of her seat. Melania, through her teeth. Those were never meant for this room. Crockett. So was hush money never meant for campaign ledgers, yet here we are. Murmurs tighten into a low electrical burr. On the dais, allies exchange frantic legal pads, whispering lines that sound rehearsed and useless. Crockett. Page 2. Timeline. Dates of separation. Documented counseling attempts. She taps a margin note. Notarized affirmation attached. Trump, leaning over the mic. You are taking a private vow and weaponizing it. Crockett. Promise or gamble, Mr. Trump. You chose. You placed your family on a political roulette wheel to buy advantage. That is not private. That is a public bet with collateral you do not own. Chair. Ms. Crockett. Crockett, without turning. I will move quickly. She lifts a slim exhibit, a deposition notice addressed to a senior aide, topics including knowledge of marital negotiations intersecting with public events. A sharp rustle follows as staffers in the second row shift in their seats. Crockett. The nation is told to choose between loyalty and lies, but this, she pinches the paper between forefinger and thumb, is not politics, this is survival. This is a pattern of control, money, and pressure that bleeds into the public square. A Republican member tries to seize the mic. Member: Point of order. Point of order. The gentlewoman is out of bounds. Crockett, overlapping. Point of order noted. The point of reality remains. She flips to a summary sheet labeled Preliminary Asset Separation. Columns, valuations, trusts. She does not read numbers. She reads intent. Crockett. Consolidation of influence, segregation of liabilities, firewalls that activate when headlines burn. Her eyes lift to the gallery. You paid in, you earned it, it's your money. When private games distort public cost, the bill lands on the people's table. Trump laughs once, a dry cutting bark. Trump. You think you can frighten me with paperwork? Crockett. No. I will let your paperwork frighten itself. She holds up a page that bears a phrase underlined twice in blue. Irreconcilable betrayal. The words are clean, cold, unadorned. Melania, barely above a whisper. Stop reading that. Crockett, softening, not yielding. No one should be humiliated in public, but no one should be coerced in private. We will not pretend the two worlds do not touch. The chair's gavel chops the air. Chair. We will recess if we cannot maintain decorum. Crockett, turning a page. Exhibit C. Council Memo on Public Risk. It contemplates the weaponization of personal vulnerability to shape policy positioning. Call it what it is, leverage. The word sits heavy. Leverage. Everyone in the room understands leverage. It is the quiet currency of power, and she has said it out loud. Trump. Council will move to strike. Crockett. Council may write a sonnet, the record will remember the truth. A hush falls so total the camera microphones pick up the faint whir of the live trucks outside. Crockett shifts to a printed email, timestamps, a forwarded chain, a subject line that reads, Media Strategy Contingent on Personal Development. She does not read the correspondents' names, she reads the hinge. Crockett. Contingent on, a presidency contoured by a private storm. Tell the country that is none of its business. Member, from the right. We tell the country to focus on inflation. Crockett. We tell the country the truth. When one man gambles with his life, he gambles with theirs. Promise versus gamble. Those are the stakes. She lays the stack flat, squares it once against the wood, and then selects a final attachment, a short typed statement with a single closing line. Crockett, reading. I will not be collateral. The sentence hangs like a bell tolling in an empty street. Melania's eyes close. Trump's jaw works, muscle jumping in his cheek. Trump, cold. Produce your chain of custody, now. Crockett, already sliding a transparent folder to the clerk. Logged receipt, time-stamped entry, custodial affidavit, forensic verification request on file. Any further questions on authenticity? Silence, the brittle kind that cuts before it breaks. Crockett, to the chair. We can move to protective procedures to shield non-public details. But the public overlap is inescapable and it will be addressed. Chair. Proceed briefly. Crockett nods once. Two final lines. 1, a proposed mediation date that coincides with a scheduled public rally. 2, an internal note that reads, Media Optics Complex. A beat. Complex is not a strategy. Complex is a word people use when lying has become a habit. A low rumble of reaction. Phones rise in the gallery, not to record, that is already happening, but to read. Alerts flicker. Producers on the back wall exchange looks that say the same thing. The clip has a spine. It will stand on its own. Trump leans in, voice a growl forced through a narrow gate. Trump. This ends here. Crockett. It begins here. She gathers the pages not like a prize but like a duty and sets them in a neat stack. Her hands are steady. The room is not. Crockett, measured. We will proceed to the larger question, how private leverage is deployed to purchase public silence. But first, she looks toward the gallery as if addressing the nation itself. Understand this. Not politics, survival. A hand signal flashes from a producer at the back, a tiny circle with thumb and forefinger. The silent newsroom sign for We Have It. Somewhere beyond the chamber doors, a push alert hops across screens. Inside, heads turn toward the hum of the moment, trying to guess its shape. Chair. Final gavel. We will continue. Crockett slides one page to the clerk for the record and tucks the rest back into the envelope like a blade into a sheath. The next strike is already chosen. The chamber is still reverberating when the first notification pings in the gallery. A young reporter claps a hand over her mouth, eyes glued to her phone. The headline spreads in real time. Divorce papers dropped live. Within seconds, the sound of vibrating phones becomes a chorus. Cameramen whisper to producers in earpieces. The press row is no longer observing. It is detonating. Reporter 1, into phone, breathless. Yes, on record, divorce papers on the floor, Melania screamed. Reporter 2, typing furiously. Running, push alert, breaking. Trump marriage collapse erupts in congressional hearing. The control room feed fractures into side-by-side shots. Crockett with the papers, Melania clutching her seat, Trump blazing with fury. Anchors across networks cut into scheduled programming. Anchor, voiceover, live. We interrupt, with extraordinary scenes unfolding right now. Clips ricochet to Twitter, TikTok, Telegram. A raw 30-second cut, unedited, shows Melania's scream and the phrase, irreconcilable betrayal. It racks up 500,000 views in under 5 minutes. Comments explode. Did that just happen? This is the fall of the dynasty. Back inside, aides scramble to collect devices. Too late. Crockett, quietly, to a colleague. It's already out. Trump slams a palm on the desk, microphone shuddering. Trump, shut the cameras down, this is a family matter. But the cameras do not blink. Networks smell history, and history does not wait for permission. Producer, to camera op. Stay tight on her, tight on Crockett, this is the shot. A congressman leans toward a staffer, hissing. Congressman, tell the comms team to drown this, get inflation trending, get border trending, anything. Staffer, already scrolling. It's not stopping. The clip is viral. Crockett leans into her mic with surgical precision, voice calibrated to cut through noise. Crockett. The public has a right to know when betrayal in private fuels deception in public. The phrase is clipped, repeatable, a soundbite born to trend. And it does. Within minutes, hashtag spiral. Bonguanu irreconcilable betrayal. Duanu divorcegate. Wanu Crockett drops. Outside, television trucks flare their satellite dishes, radio stations cut to emergency bulletins. A late-night DJ on a local AM station nearly shouts into his mic, DJ, folks, if you haven't seen it yet, Melania screamed, I mean screamed when Crockett dropped the bomb. You'll hear the clip everywhere tonight. On TikTok, remixes already emerge. The scream, the phrase, I will not be collateral layered over beats spliced with flashing red headlines. The meme machine is alive, irretrievable. Trump's face contorts as aides push him notes. He rips one into shreds without looking. Trump, this is defamation, national defamation, turn the cameras off. Crockett, deadpan, the cameras are not your property. The chair hammers the gavel, but the gavel is smaller than the roar of the world outside. Chair, order, order in the chamber. The order never comes. Phones light up again. A foreign correspondent shouts into a mic in French, another in German, others in Spanish. Subtitles across European networks blare, Shock divorce papers revealed in U.S. hearing. In London, an anchor raises her brows, almost disbelieving. Anchor, BBC. We are watching what may be the most surreal congressional moment in living memory. Crockett closes the folder deliberately, but the gesture feels less like concealment and more like punctuation. Crockett. You cannot bury truth once it has been spoken into a microphone. Gasps roll again. A young Republican strategist in the back corridor mutters under his breath, Strategist, we just lost the night, and maybe the year. Back online, a live stream hits 1 million concurrent viewers. Comment bars flood with caps-locked reactions. Crockett legend. Melania's scream will haunt history. Promise versus gamble. He chose gamble. Inside, Trump suddenly lunges forward, trying to grab the envelope from the clerk's desk. The gallery gasps. Security shifts uneasily. Crockett steps forward, intercepting his motion with nothing but her voice. Crockett, sharp, cutting. Do not touch evidence that belongs to the public record. Trump freezes mid-reach, his fingers curled but empty. The optics are devastating. Screenshots fire across the internet, Trump clawing for papers, Crockett immovable. In the back, a producer mutters the three words that shape every broadcast. Producer, we've got history, and history in real time is now unstoppable. Hook to next block. As the chamber unravels, Trump prepares to launch his counterattack, louder, harsher, more desperate. The roar of the chamber bleeds into the corridors. Outside, news vans hum like wasp nests. Inside, the air feels ready to snap. Trump straightens, shoulders squared, jaw locked. He grips the microphone as though it's an enemy throat. Trump, thundering, "This is an ambush. This is fabrication. No one here should trust a single page of this circus." His voice cracks the walls. The gallery shudders with whispers. Melania sits frozen, eyes down, her silence louder than his rage. Trump, pointing at Crockett, "She is staging a hoax. She forged these. This is the biggest witch hunt yet, and you're all complicit if you let her continue." A chorus of his allies erupts in support. Alley 1. "Out of order." Alley 2. "Strike it from the record." Alley 3. "This is harassment, plain and simple." The chair gavels, but cannot control the noise. Chair, "Members will come to order." Trump, cutting over, "Order? The only order here is disorder. This is an invasion of my family, my marriage, my dignity, and for what? Political theater." Crockett doesn't flinch. She leans one hand on the stack of papers, her expression calm, surgical. Crockett, "If truth is theater, Mr. Trump, then the stage was built by you." The line hits like a whip. The gallery gasps. Phones rise again, recording the clash. Trump slams a fist into the table. Microphones pop with static. Trump, roaring, "Confiscate those papers. Confiscate them right now." Two of his loyalists rise, motioning to aides. Security shifts, uncertain. The room trembles on the edge of chaos. Crockett, sharp, "Do not obstruct. These are logged. These are entered. The record is public." Trump, "Public? You think the people care about a staged family squabble? They care about jobs, borders, security? You are wasting their time." Crockett, eyes locked on him. "They care about truth. They care when a man who gambled with his own family gambles with theirs." The words echo. Trump's face contorts, redder, louder. He jabs a finger toward her. Trump, "You are a liar, a dirty liar." The insult booms across the chamber. Reporters seize it instantly, typing headlines before the echo dies. Crockett, calm, deliberate. "You can scream liar all you want. The papers scream louder." Melania shifts, her hand trembling as it grips the edge of the table. She whispers something, barely audible. "Melania, whisper. Stop. Please." But Trump barrels forward, voice climbing into fury. Trump, "This entire country will laugh at you for this. They will see you for what you are, a fraud. You can't humiliate me. You can't destroy me. I am still standing." Crockett, "So was every empire right before it collapsed." The chamber gasps again, the phrase slicing into the microphones. Trump lunges with words sharper, uglier. Trump, "She is obsessed. Obsessed. Look at her. She doesn't want justice. She wants to tear down everything I built." Crockett answers with steady steel. Crockett, "No, Mr. Trump, I want to stop you from tearing down what belongs to the people. You bet on their silence. I refuse to pay your wager." The exchange is electric, every phrase forged to be replayed on endless loops. Outside, social media scrolls light up again. Clips cut together, his screaming, her stillness, Melania's broken posture. Anchor, voiceover, live broadcast. What you are witnessing is not just a political clash, but the public unraveling of a dynasty. In the chamber, Trump slams both fists on the table now, the sound like cannon fire. Trump, furious, shaking. "Enough. If she can wave papers, then I can wave mine. You want documents? I have documents, and mine will destroy her." His allies cheer. Some boo. The chamber turns into a coliseum. Crockett, leaning closer to the mic, almost whispering, but clear. "Then bring them. Bring every page. I will meet paper with paper, truth with truth. But know this." Her gaze locks on him. Crockett, "I do not bluff." The silence after her words is deafening. Trump's chest heaves. His allies look shaken, unsure if his fury is strength or collapse. In the gallery, a reporter murmurs to another, "Reporter, that's the soundbite, that's the line. I do not bluff." The chair's gavel cracks again. Chair. Order must be restored or this hearing will recess. But the order is gone. The world outside is watching too closely. The fight has spilled beyond the walls. Hook to next block. Behind the chamber doors, phones buzz with calls, threats, offers, warnings. The war shifts to backrooms and whispered deals. The hearing adjourns for a short recess, but the air refuses to cool. Hallways buzz like a hive, cameras chasing every figure who dares step outside. Staffers huddle in tight knots, whispering in tones too sharp to be casual. Crockett walks briskly toward her office, the envelope pressed close to her chest. Two men in dark suits fall in behind her. Their steps sync with hers, too close to be coincidence. Suit 1, low. Urgent. You made a mistake, Congresswoman. Drop this or you'll regret it. Crockett, without slowing. Regret is for gamblers who lose. I don't gamble. The men exchange a glance. Suit 2. He has allies who will burn everything around you. Your career, your family, your reputation. Ashes. Walk away. She stops suddenly, turns and meets their eyes with a stare as cold as steel. Crockett. If fire is all they have left, then they've already lost the war. They hesitate. A door swings open at the far end of the hall. A senior Republican, gray hair, reputation for silence, steps out and motions her aside. Crockett stiffens, ready for more threats, but his voice surprises her. Republican, quietly. He's finished. Don't stop. Push. Crockett blinks once, reading his face for deception, but his eyes, weary and resigned, give him away. Even inside Trump's circle, cracks are showing. She nods once, then pivots back toward the chamber. Inside again, the room is restless. Trump has returned, chin lifted in defiance, allies flanking him like bodyguards. Melania trails behind, her face pale, distant. The chair gavels for order. Cameras tilt back into place. The final act begins. Chair. Miss Crockett, you indicated you had one final document. Proceed. Crockett rises slowly, letting silence expand until every eye locks on her. From the envelope, she withdraws a single sheet, thinner than the rest but weighted with consequence. Crockett, into Mike, steady. This is a direct statement, not rumor, not speculation, a sworn affidavit signed and sealed. She holds it high enough for the cameras to catch the bold words across the top. Affidavit of petitioner. Crockett, reading. Irreconcilable betrayal. The phrase detonates. Melania's eyes close. She exhales like a woman unburdened yet broken. Trump lunges forward again, shouting over the noise. Trump, furious, shouting, "That is forged! That is fraud!" Crockett, cutting through. It is her handwriting, her choice, her declaration. Gasps fill the chamber. Aides clutch their phones, already texting frantic damage control. The gallery erupts into overlapping noise. Questions, shouts, disbelief. Crockett, louder, commanding. This is not politics. This is survival. A woman's refusal to be collateral, weaponized no longer for power games. Trump slams the desk with both fists. The sound like a cannon shot, but the cameras freeze frame his rage against her calm. Crockett, final strike. You bet everything on silence. You lost, and the people will never pay your debts again. The chamber explodes, shouts, gavel, bangs, reporters screaming into microphones. But Crockett's words cut above all. Irreconcilable betrayal. They echo across the marble, across the nation, into every home. Outside, screens light with headlines, Trump exposed, divorce papers live. Hashtags surge into millions, clips loop endlessly. Melania's scream, Trump's fury, Crockett's steady voice. In the chaos, Crockett gathers the papers and steps back, not triumphant, but resolute. She knows this is not the end, only the beginning. The camera lingers on Trump, his face contorted in rage, sweat glistening under the lights. Then it cuts to Melania, eyes hollow but finally unshackled. The broadcast fades with Crockett's words still.